Hello, my noble band of outlaws. Outlaw Samurai coming at you live with a video. This time I'm doing shit in the right order. Okay? This is going to be the review of the Dragon King Winter Sun Katana. And as soon as I pull up the specs from Cult of Athena where I bought this, I will give my review. There it is. Disclaimer, I do plan on buying all 4 swords in the Dragon King seasonal set. Okay, so there we go. Which reminds me, I have to write a review for Cult of Athena since I bought this. So I'll do that later. So we'll start off with the specifications for this sword first. Just one moment, please. Sorry, had to do something. But in any case, the overall length is 44.5 inches. The blade length is 33.5 inches. The weight is 3 pounds. Edge is sharp. Width, I'm assuming at the bottom, is 31.1 millimeters. I don't know millimeters, so forgive me. Thickness at the bottom is 7.6 millimeters. To the tip is 3.6 millimeters. There is no pommel. Point of balance is 5 7/8 inches away from the tsuba. Grip length 11 5/8 inches. Okay, so we'll be right back in a minute. Okay, so I got a tape measure. From the tsuba to the Kashira is actually 12 3/4 inches to be precise. So we'll just say 13 inches. Yeah, Cult of Athena, you're off by about 2 inches. Not a big difference, considering that this thing is supposed to have a 13-inch grip anyway, so I'm not harping about the 1/4 inch difference. But I am harping that there's a whole, almost, I believe, 2 whole inch discrepancy between what they say is on the sword and what Cult of Athena, what Dragon King says is on the sword, and what Cult of Athena says is on the sword. I haven't looked at Dragon King's specs for this sword. I'm only basing this off of Cult of Athena's. But Cult of Athena, this is going in the review. You are 2 inches short of the actual measurement for this blade. I don't know if it's the blade's grip. I don't know if it's an outlier or not. But that has to be said and addressed for future buyers. The blade is made out of 5160 high carbon steel. No way to verify that. I'm going based off of everyone else is saying. Everyone who's ever reviewed this sword has all said the same thing, 5160. The type is katana. Class, battle ready. Culture, Japanese. Manufacturer, Dragon King. Country of origin, China, of course. Those are the specifications for the sword. Now, we will start down here at the Kashira. The Kashira is fairly plain and simple. It is a black, I want to say, almost lacquered Kashira. But I think it's more of a patina. And over here, if you look ever so closely by my thumb, you can see the patina is kind of wearing off. And I think that's actually copper underneath. I believe that this sword is supposed to boast iron fittings, but I'm not entirely sure. They just say blackened metal, so they are not blackened iron, they are just simply blackened metal. Okay, so clearing up that discrepancy. So yes, they are blackened metal fittings. And it's starting to come off. But I've only had this sword for a couple of weeks. So I guess quality control issue? Not really sure. Don't really care. Because everything eventually wears down. And I have been basically swinging this thing around every day. So I guess I could have rubbed it off myself. But in any case, the Kashira is very simple. The only really embellishment it has is a fuller running around the side. It has two Shinodome pieces that... This one is loose. This one is still tight. So Shinodome coming loose, that's a very common thing on swords, katanas that have them. So I'm not going to be bitching and moaning about that. It was a saying down here on the Koigata, but I glued that one back into place because I actually do use the Sageo cord on this. But in any case, it has two Shinodome pieces. The, let's see here. It is wrapped with black Suka Ito cord. So I'm assuming this is cotton cord and not silk, because I've never had a silk Ito before, but I imagine it'd be a lot more smoother than this. The race, as you can see, both the knots at the end are very extremely tight. I can't even move them if I actually force them, and I'm pushing my fingers white here. The Ito, likewise, extremely tight, even over the habaki. I can't move this. I can't move these at all, really. The race skin is real, genuine waist skin, because as I feel it, it doesn't feel anywhere near like the race skin on my other swords. To be frank, they all feel plastic. This feels like real, legit skin. And I have no reason to doubt that it's not. The Manuki are snowflake themed, because this is a winter themed sword, and I love winter, which is one of the predominant reasons why I bought it. The Fushira and the Kashira both have the same simple, fuller embellishment. The Seppa has these little teeth grinds into them, which add some kind of artistic flair, and I like it. Just as the description provided, there are two macaque Japanese snow monkeys on the guard with, I'd assume those are snowflakes and rain scratches. Now, there is one thing about this sword that, well, two things, that now that I'm looking back at the pictures, okay, so there's only really one thing that critiques me, and that is the fact that there was supposed to be two snowflakes on the top of the sword, and as you can see, no snowflakes at all. So, not entirely accurate. Again, that's going into the review of this sword. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can because this is a $300 plus sword. And I'm not expecting perfection, but I expect to get everything that came within the photos that the sword has. And that is in the description. That is it. That is the bare minimum that I am requesting, that the sword's description and the sword itself are accurate. So as I've already covered the Kashira, the Fushira, the Ito wrap, and the Manukis and Samegawa, and the Suba, which has this little cutout here, which asymmetrically, I'm not a big fan of it. I would have preferred that being filled in with solid metal, but in any case, there's that. The diamonds, as you can see, are relatively equal. I don't really care about that part. I'm a very easy guy to please. As long as the sword does sword things, then I'm good. But I should mention all this stuff for those who do prefer those qualities. There are two Makuki pegs, both made of bamboo. Here and here. The scabbard is an Ishime lacquer, which I don't know if the camera will pick up or not. Here, let me... It's an Ishime lacquer. That means it's a very speckle finish. And when they were lacquering this sword, it's basically a layer of lacquer, charcoal powder, a layer of lacquer, charcoal powder that makes a very tough, very rigid lacquering job on the scabbard. And it doesn't show fingerprints next to it all, really. The Sageo cord is relatively thick. I'd say the same thickness and quality as on the grip. It's quite long, longer than the whole saya, actually. And I'd say of reasonable quality. I am not a good judge of Sageo cords, since I really don't care whether I get a really good Sageo or a really bad Sageo, so long as it does the job. Again, I am a very simple man. As my shirt says, I am a simple man. I like doobies and I like them big boobies. Okay? Give me the okay! But before I go on an entirely perverted otaku rant, let's finish up the sword review. The scabbard boasts horn fittings here at the bottom, the koigata, and the koiguchi. I don't know if these are real horn or not. Don't quote me on that. It's what the site says that it says these are real horn. I don't know. I've never had real horn. I usually buy the cheaper end swords than these more high end, to me, high end swords. But in any case, you've heard me bitch and moan about the fittings all a lot. But let's get to the. Let's see. Matthew Jensen says pointy stabby part. So I'm going to say let's get to the slash you to hell part. The blade, as I said, is 1050 high carbon steel. Now, the habaki and the seppa are supposed to be silver. And they do kind of have a silver-like finish to them, but they're not as bright a silver as on the pictures. I don't even care if this was just a Kaba habaki with nickel plating. What I do care is that I get a sword accurate to the pictures that I saw on the website. I'd like to get the same product that I saw on the website and click the order button for, which, again, in my initial impressions of this sword when I unboxed it, I was completely in sword geek mode. This is my nitpicking every little detail like a pissed off mother-in-law mode. Sorry, mother-in-laws of the world, that trope will never die. But in any case, the other thing that I was going to harp about, that after re-looking at the pictures, I'm no longer harping about, is that the blade is not as wide at the tip as it is at the bottom. And I thought it had the same width all the way down, but after reviewing the pictures, no, it does not. It actually does have profile taper along with disc fill taper. As you can see here, the blade is relatively thick down here. Then it tapers ever so gradually down to a very thin tip, which makes this thing an absolute dream to handle. This is my best feeling sword. This is my new favorite sword. This is even better handling than the cold steel Italian longsword I bought. And up until I bought this, that kind of took the place as my favorite sword to use. But in any case, that's the whole thing. Other than that, I don't have any criticisms of this sword. I love this sword. It's a dream to use, dream to handle. I have not cut anything with it yet, but that is going to be rectified. I've stockpiled some bottles. I've filled them up. I'm getting ready to do the cutting video, but like I said in the Honshu Boshin cutting video, a lot of shit getting in my way, so I'm probably going to try at least film these before Christmas, but upload them after Christmas. So there's a little explanation there. But there is one thing that I will say. I don't know if it's just my eyes, playing tricks on me or not. But the Suba, no, it's not my eyes because I can see it in the camera. This corner of the Suba is bent up more than the rest of it, which made me think this sword was all bent to hell for the longest time until I realized, oh, it's just the Suba that's throwing off my vision. So there's a quality control issue, Cult of Athena. Bent Suba that you should probably address. I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just being a reviewer and giving my honest feedback. But aside from those small criticisms, not getting the bright silver-colored Habaki and Seppa, not having a snowflakes on the top, the Suba being offset a little bit, I have nothing bad to say about this sword, other than those three things. Now, I understand you can't expect perfection at $300 or $350, a sub $350 sword, which is what this is. But in any case, do I recommend this sword to others? Hell the fuck yes! I recommend this thing to anybody who's a little bit bigger. I mean, this sword is not intended for small people to wield. And I don't mean small like in stature, I mean small as in body size. You need a certain length of arm and you need a certain girth to use a sword like this, just for the length alone. And if this is a 3-pound sword, then it's the lightest damn sword I have. Okay? This thing is perfectly balanced. At 5 inches from the Suba, oh my god, is this thing perfectly balanced. Oh, it's just... I can't help but sing its praises. It's perfect to me. Perfect length, perfect weight. It has that, I want to swing, I want to be swung, I want to cut something feeling, but then it also has that ease of quick recovery. I can deliver a full power slash, then as quickly as I slash down, bring the damn thing back up for a recovery. So I say, be able to finally perform double cuts like Backyard Samurai. Or, as he's now calling himself, Backyard Night Dude. Shout out. But in any case, that's pretty much all I have to say is... Oh, one last thing. The Fushira is a little bit loose, but that doesn't really bother me. Okay? There is no ledge that immediately catches my finger. There is no bit that stabs into me. Everything is chamfered, rounded, and shaped in a way that is absolutely ergonomically perfect to me. Other people might take issue. Other people might have problems with it. But to me, this is the best sword in my collection thus far. And Dragon King, shout out to Dragon King. You've made a customer out of me. With only one purchase, you have definitely made a customer out of me. And if this is the quality I am to expect from the other Dragon King swords in the seasonal collection, the Spring Sakura, the Autumn Leaf, and the Summer Lotus, I'm damn sure going to get all 4 of those. Okay, that is for certain. In the future, maybe even before the end of 20... That's going to be my goal now. I'm going to get each sword in the corresponding season of the following year. Soon as spring hits, March 21st, I'm ordering the Spring Sakura Katana. As soon as summer gets here, whatever day that is, I'm ordering the Summer Lotus. And whatever day autumn gets here, the Autumn Leaf, okay? I will have all 4 swords in that collection. Starting with this one. We're in winter right now of 2021. By the end of 2022, by by winter 2022, I will have all four seasonal swords. And then I can do a comparison video between the four swords, how they function, how they cut. I know this has been long, and hopefully I've covered everything. I hope this review has found you well and has been informative. So until next time, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all, be crazy rednecks, be safe in using your weapons. I'm out. Peace. Awesome badass cut that you don't see me in the side view.